Yeah. All right. Moving into the American League, we kick it off with the Orioles and the Red Sox, where the Boston Red Sox score 9 runs in every single game. Game one is an absolute, like, what is this? The Red Sox just light up Chris Sale or Corey Kluber. Sorry, they get to Chris Sale in a different game. They light up Corey Kluber. He's out by the end of the fourth inning. Adley Rutschman goes 5 for 5. And the Orioles look like they're doing great until they almost blow it. They come back and win it. They win 10-9. Good job, Orioles. However, the same cannot be said for the next game because they do not win it, as Felix Bautista struggles to open the season. And game five, the Red Sox pretty much just have it the entire way. They're out hitting them the whole way through. What?
You said
You
game
said-
five, but
you
that's
said
yeah,
game
no,
five.
There's the last one.
something that was surprising to me. I mean, Red Sox proving me right talking about at the beginning of the season. I'm like, this is a powerhouse offense. What did surprise me is that the Orioles did not do much to stop this powerhouse offense. Their pitching did not look good this entire series at all. I mean, I mean, even Felix Bautista, reliever of the year type of guy, did not look good. And Stebbs, you're looking up and you're blinking like
Because
you're
I'm
being
thinking, because like
Not a
the
single
Orioles,
red-
the Orioles weren't supposed to have a good pitching staff. Like they weren't. That was supposed to be their weak point, and it was, and it is.
I don't know.
So I don't,
I really,
I don't see, I don't understand that point. That's all I'm trying to say.
I
Like
think
coming into the season, we knew that they didn't go out and sign a starting guy. They got Kyle Gibson, and
Kyle,
it's paying dividends right now.
Brad, what are your
And the
thoughts on this?
bullpen's atrocious.
Call up Grayson.
Call up Grayson. I think it's time. You got to give someone a chance.
Is he hurt at all?
No,
No, he's
just
playing right
in the
now.
one. Yeah, he started.
But I mean, this Red Sox team is all around good. I mean, I don't think we all expected Adam Duvall to be, this good, and he's not gonna, continue that the whole season. But I
It's
mean,
on
it's a
pace for
good.
32 WAR.
He's starting off the season hot, and that's probably what you want. As a Red Sox fan, and also Masataka Yoshida looks great, and Tristan Casas is, showing a little power. But that was yesterday, so that does not count as our weekend recap. But the offense just looks like it's there. But I'm a little concerned about the starting pitching because no one looked good that series at all.
Let's go to the other side of the coin with great starting pitching. Tampa Bay Rays absolutely just dominated the Tigers. They were on top of them. It was bad. Game 1, 4-0 Rays. Game 2, 12-2 Rays. And then game 3, 5-1 Rays. Like, and what was it? It was Jeffrey Springs had 12 Ks in game 3.
Yeah,
6
6
so-
hit.
That was,
Yeah.
I mean, an incredible outing from all three of the Rays guys. And they are currently, them and the Rangers are the only undefeated teams in the league.
Rangers lost last night to the Orioles.
Rangers lost. So
Yeah.
is it just,
Yeah.
It's literally
no,
just the Rays. It's
no, I
just
thought
the-
there was, I
It's
swear.
the
I
Rays
thought
and the
there was one
Twins.
more.
It's the Rays
Yeah.
and the Twins.
I knew there was
Twins,
I knew it was a T team. I was close.
So something that stood out to me this series is, I mean, we always regard the Rays as the pitching team, which, by the way, they are through opening weekend. They are first in ERA, first in batting average against, and first in WHIP.
Oh, dare I say they're top 5 in baseball?
I don't even. Okay, but what did stand out to me is that they're top 5 in every hitting stat. The offense is here. It's finally here. I really think that this is one of the best offenses that the Rays have dished out in the entire decade. I think this is one of the best, and that's not saying that much because they've never been, an offensive powerhouse. But there are some real thump bats in this lineup, and Wander Franco looks great, and he's kind of the forefront of that. Also, keep in mind this team does look dangerous, and that is also because they have one of the easiest beginnings to a season ever. They get to play Detroit, and then Washington, and then Oakland. They might go undefeated for a whole 2 weeks. So
Nah,
keep your
Nats
eyes
got
out on
him
that.
tonight.
All right, moving on to another.
Hey, we
game-
have Chad Cool pitching tonight. We got it. Okay.
That's
Okay,
cool.
yeah. Moving on to the next series, another series dominated by pitching. We have the Twins versus the Royals, and the Royals lineup was gone. They did not produce anything that entire series. That was quite depressing. Letting the young kids play. No, that did not work for them. I think the Twins are a pitching force to be reckoned with. And also, if you have the full lineup in there and everyone's healthy, this is a team that might win the Central. I mean, it really is up to the fact that, if everyone's healthy for a whole season, you're going to win. This team is good. And not only that, but the starting pitching and the bullpen. I mean, there's no weak point in the pitching staff on this team. And they really do scare me at this point. They do look like a team that could threaten.
I mean,
I,
yeah.
I like him.
yeah.
I think the starting rotation we talked about it's a bunch of number 2 starters. And
Yeah.
when you have a full rotation of number 2 starters, you win a lot of games.
Yeah.
And Joey Gallo is actually fairly good too.
And
He
I do want
hit
to talk about
what,
one thing.
he hit 2 bombs in
That
game
was
3. He
Yeah.
hit 2 in game 3, and then he hit 1 yesterday.
That was the first time he made it on base 4 times in a game since 2018. So that's a Joey Gallo stat for you right there. I mean,
I
he
think
did they call
I
him
think
small market Gallo, baby. He doesn't need to be in pinstripes.
I
Yeah.
think the smaller markets are where he's gonna strive the best, because like just the Yankees were not it, and the Dodgers were, I guess, slightly better, but
Not it.
And one more thing before we move on, I want to ask Brad, did Spencer Torkelson look promising or did he look bad? Did his exit velos look good? Because I was checking out his exit velos and there's a couple, hits that looked like they should have been, actual base hits and they didn't land. And it seems like the Spencer Torkelson curse is still going.
Yeah, the spring training
Um,
curse.
Yeah, I mean, it really is real. I don't know. Let me check his expected stats, but I
Uh,
really, at the moment right now, it does not,
It
yeah,
just
it
looks
does
like
not look
he's
very good.
peppering the ball into the ground, is really what it is.
Yeah, I mean, he's hitting the
The
ball
strikeout
hard.
rate's lower, which is
Yeah.
good. He's just peppering it into the ground.
So we're making some progress. We'll get there eventually with Spencer. Steps, you want to
hey,
bring us
he's
to the
got
next series?
2 more years left. Okay, White Sox versus Astros, game 1. White Sox take it against the Astros. It was what, their first loss in like 10 seasons on
years.
opening day, which is crazy. But then the Astros are like, hold up, no, and win 3 straight and sweep the rest of the series. But Dylan Cease was absolutely incredible. He sat down 18 in a row in game 1. Like that was it was an incredible performance. And ESPN like showed one pitch and it was like a Jose Abreu single, and then that was it. It was, yeah, and then they took him out of the game. So yeah, that's ESPN. I don't even know what you want me to say.
He looked really, really good. We also had the umpire cam where we got to see like the differentiation between his fastball and curveball, and that was a really unique view. I really hope they do incorporate that a bit more this season. It's a new perspective to see how difficult hitting a baseball is. It's also really satisfying because who was it? It was who hit the bomb on umpire? Was it Josh Young?
It was Josh Young. Yeah. Yeah, because I think that's the thing they're doing for ESPN. On their ESPN games, they're gonna have the ump cam, and Josh Young absolutely peppered that ball to the opposite field, and it looked really good.
Ooh, that's a point I didn't bring up earlier. Opposite field home runs have also doubled from opening weekend last year. I don't know if that's a coincidence or if it's just random luck.
That's a result of the
That
shift. I'm
has
telling you.
that no
Yeah.
that has to just be random. Look, there's no way
Yeah.
there's any like scientific way to prove that it's because the pitch clock makes you go opposite field.
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple takeaways from the series. One is that I believe that the only thing Yohan Moncada needed to restore his passion in baseball was the World Baseball Classic. I feel like the last couple of years he has just not cared at all.
Because he's in the
And
White Sox.
and it seems to, he seems to care again, and it really does. There's a huge difference because he is now slugging like no one else. Luis Robert looks good. The pitching looked decent. And despite Steves makes it sound like the Astros came back and just pounded them, but it was a very close series. These games could have gone either way. I'm telling you, games 2 through 4 could have gone either way. They could have gone Astros. They could have gone White Sox. I really do believe this team. They did impress me. Despite going 1-3 to start the season, I am impressed by the White Sox. They look like a promising team, and if they weren't playing the Astros, I believe they would have swept a lot of other teams.
Luis Robert looks pretty good as well. Like he's if he stays healthy, he's gonna be very, very good this season.
The defense, especially with that diving play in center field.
Yes.
Tim Anderson looked pretty solid. It's just again, it's the Chicago White Sox. The talent's there.
No faith.
It's everything else going to be existent.
True.
Yeah.
Let's head to
Like,
another team none of us have any faith in. The Los Angeles Angels. They lose game 1 to the Oakland Athletics, 2-1 after Ohtani goes 6 innings
7.
without giving up a run.
Was it 7?
Was it 7?
I think it was 7, but it doesn't really matter.
Might have
All,
been 7.
all you need to
Doesn't
know is
matter.
he was
He
effective.
goes 6 to 7 innings, without giving up a run. Bullpen comes in, gives up 2. They lose the game. Anthony Rendon gets into a fight with a fan after the game. And that results in 2 games where the Angels outscore them 13-1 in the first game and 6-0 in the second game. Logan O'Hoppe looked really, really good
Mhm.
in both those games. And Fujinami looked good through 2 innings and then not so good in the third.
The thing with him is like the stuff looked fantastic, even in the third inning. It's just the control went absolutely, I guess, like gone.
Yeah.
It didn't go well. He has a 20% walk rate on the season, a 30.86 ERA. That's not what you want. And you know what? He'll be okay.
It was game
Someone's-
1.
Yeah.
No. I
Tom's
watched.
a Fujinami hater.
No, I'm a Fujinami believer. I saw a highlight, right? And it's his mom who traveled all the way from Japan, and she's in the stands. Like she looks like such a saint, man. She looks so innocent, and she was watching her son get destroyed, and I felt so bad. It crushed me, and I really want nothing but the best for Fujinami now. I feel so bad. Like his mom looks so nice. Like I want the best for him. I'm rooting for him to go allow the longest scoreless streak ever. He's going on a run. But yeah, it was basically all Angels after game 1. A lot of offense. I'm definitely happy with the offense there. Taylor Ward showed up. Mike Trout for the first 2 games of the season was batting like 100, but had an expected batting average of like 1,000 because he was hitting the ball like 105 off the bat in the gaps, but was getting robbed every 5 seconds. Brad, you got a point there?
I have like a minor hot take.
Okay.
Ooh.
The Athletics are going to be pesky. They're not going to win a lot of games, but they'll play competitive games.
I agree with that.
I think Esteury Ruiz was a positive surprise. Like he looked fairly decent. His offense was solid. There is no power there at all, but it's a contact bat. If he could be a Stephen Kwan-esque hitter with the same type of defense, but actually steal some bases, then the Athletics actually didn't, completely crap themselves on the trade.
I'm
I
glad to hear
definitely-
you turning around, Brad. I'm so glad to hear that. I mean, I'm not going to cover it completely, but they did, play the Guardians pretty well last night, and I think that adds to your point that they do match their competition pretty well. And I feel like this is a team that has nothing to lose anymore. I feel like this team literally has nothing to lose. They are not worried about a thing because they are one of the worst teams ever constructed. So I feel like that little nothing to lose might add to their peskiness. Stabs, you got an idea on that?
I definitely agree. Back to Fujinami though. I want him to be good. I don't know why, but when he signed, I was like, I think this is a guy I'm gonna want to watch, and I will be watching all of his starts this year. I'm excited to watch him play, and I'm not excited to watch any of the Oakland Athletics games, but I'm excited to see what they can do and what havoc they can wreak. Because I do agree with Brad. I think they're going to be pesky. I think it's going to be fun to watch them kind of match the competition level. I mean, again, they did lose 13-1 and 6-0 against the Angels in games 2 and 3, but they came out and they won on opening day in Oakland with like nobody in the stands. So who knows? But let's head over to an actually really good series, the Guardians versus Mariners. Mariners take game 1, 3-0, and then the Guardians win the next 3, 9-4, 2-0, and 6-5. All 3 games though, or all 4 games though, were really, really well played on both sides. Little kind of couple miscues throughout, but pitching looked good, defense looked good, offense looked good. I mean, there's not much more to say. It's probably one of the best series to start the year.
I think this is a really telltale sign that the Guardians are like a legitimate contender. And it also does express the concerns of the Seattle Mariners. Some people across the baseball community have had reservations about the Seattle Mariners this year. And I understand where they're coming from to some degree. The offense isn't, I think it's borderline top 10 offense, borderline top 10 pitching, but can they put it all together? And we faced the former division winner last year and they got beat. And I think this is also somewhat of a hot take, and it's not, but it is. There'll actually be a competitive race in the AL Central, not a who can suck more race.
I agree with that. Through the first series,
Yeah.
I agree with that. And I feel like both the Twins and Guardians are built pretty similarly in the sense that they're both like more pitching leaning more starting pitching, more relief pitching. They both have insanely good bullpens. But yeah, I mean, this is a little foreshadowing. This is going back to the Guardian series. Emmanuel Clase looked fantastic against the Mariners. Last night, that's a different story. But that really was just one mistake. But we don't talk about that. I think Emmanuel Clase is still the best closer in baseball. 2 mistakes. I know he let up a double. But I think they have the best reliever in baseball, and I think they have one of the best the best bullpens in general. Karinchak looked pretty good. I know he got little flabbergasted in the first game with the fans chanting towards him, the pitch clock that really got to him. But he came back, I think, the next night and managed to shut down this pretty stacked lineup. So I really do have a lot of faith in this Guardians team.
Yeah. That sums up all the series. So before we head out, MVP from the opening weekend.
Ooh.
I mean, it's got to be one of the players of the week. For me, I probably got to go with CJ Cron, to be honest. I mean, he really was the most consistent throughout the series for this opening weekend.
Stebbs, where are you at?
I think I gotta agree with that, but if I want to go somewhere different, I'm gonna go Xander Bogaerts. He showed out kind of in San Diego through his first series. He looked pretty good. On Brad's little thing, he was fifth. So yeah, I mean, he kind of showed out, kind of showed San Diego that it's San Diego now. So
That was funny.
Very good.
Since you guys took Cron and Bogaerts, I'll go with Adam Duvall. We talked about him in the preseason, how he was hurt last year. That's why his numbers are kind of down. And I expected a bounce back, but I didn't expect him to be on pace for 32 WAR this season.
Fair.
Do you guys have anything else you wanted to touch on before we head out?
I mean, really, this is the most the most into it I've been for an opening weekend. I have been checking constantly, and I really have enjoyed this weekend more than any other opening weekend.
I'm excited to actually go watch a game because I won't get that opportunity for another month and a half at least. So I'm literally like, I will watch a Nationals athletics game. I do not care. I'm just excited to watch baseball in this new style.
I agree with that. So looking forward, we're going to kind of restructure this episode a little bit. This is our first time going through this. You know what? It's fun. We love talking baseball. It's one of the best parts of best part of my life. I don't know. One of the best parts of it. But on Friday, we're going to cover the weekday series. We're going to go through a little bit more structured episode, and we're going to do our first playoff simulation where we go through what the playoffs would be today and who we think the World Series champions would be based off of today's standing. Not today, but like Friday, based off of Friday's standing. So I just clarify that. So if you're new, welcome to the 4A Baseball Podcast. We hope you enjoy this entire crazy convoluted season that we're about to go through. If you've made it through this off season, you've joined halfway through. Thank you all for joining us today on the 4A Baseball Podcast. If you want to interact with us at all social media links will be in the description below. If you've enjoyed, please consider leaving a rating, a review, or sharing with a friend. We'll see you all next time on the 4A Baseball Podcast. Peace.